Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Sunday, November the 13th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am here to discuss a really solid 6-game NBA main slate that locks an hour early than normal. It is a 6 p.m. Eastern lock, so we have an hour and 14 minutes until lock. So we're not going to mess around today. We are going to get through these 6 games. We're going to talk about the matchups, what the situation is with each team. We've got 4 teams on the second night of a back-to-back, 1 on the first night of a back-to-back. We're going to go over defensive efficiency, pace, all of the aspects that we normally do, including ownership. We're going to look at where some leverage play is. We've just gotten a lot of news. We know a bunch of the Memphis guys are out, so there's going to be a ton of value there. We're going to go through all of that and additionally just look at what the best plays are for pay up, value, and fade. And then we're going to do something for the first time I've never done before on here. Rather than build a full 2 brains, or in my case, half a brain better than one lineup for Fanduel or Yahoo, we are going to stay within the Draftkings guidelines, and I'm going to build out my starting 5 core for Draftkings for this main slate. So I wanted to try something a little bit different. We're in front of the paywall today. We'll do this NBA pod on Sundays in front of the paywall just because there's a lot going on, NFL, etc., and want to give everybody a chance to get the information, because I still say what I said since the beginning of the football season. You get a lot of that NFL money drifting over into some of these NBA pools, which makes them a little bit softer. And I think Sunday is a fantastic, sneaky day to really crush the NBA. So that's the way we're going to lay things out today. And I'm going to keep it moving. Not normally going to go my pace where I'm chit-chatting and getting on my soapbox and all that fun stuff, which I enjoy, but we've got so much going on right now with the NFL, and we have this early lock time for the NBA. We are going to get after it today. Any questions you have, post them for sure in live chat. We'll get to those as well, but I'm not playing around. I got my Sunday red on, Tiger Sunday red. Super pissed about last night. Did not work out well. We were on it with Tatum in a couple of our plays, but you know, the Celtics game really hurt us. Marcus Smart, man, I will never talk any noise about that dude. He had like not even close to by far his best game of the year, and really shut me up as far as that goes. And then we talked about it in here. I said the only way Luke is going to burn us if he goes 80 plus with a 40-point triple double, and he did it. Oh, my Lord. So it was not a fun night last night, but you know what? If you follow Coach Talk, and here I am right off the bat, I'm right on my soapbox chit-chat. But if you follow us closely at Coach Talk, we teach a real strong contest selection and bankroll management element of what we do. We also go one-on-one with every member when you come aboard. If you want to have a session with me or Crash or Deb or whomever, we'll go over our theory and what our strategy is going in. But the reason I say that is last night, as bad as it was, you know, we never recommend anybody go all in or dive all into a slate where you're really putting yourself out there. You want to pace, play a certain percentage depending on your bankroll of what you have in. And then, you know, you're going to have nights where there's injuries, foul trouble, or just craziness. Like last night I thought was just really weird. And you want to just keep that balance. So you bounce back on a day like tonight where we've got a really nice card that I think is sneaky good. And, you know, you have the opportunity to still go at it really strong. All right, let's take a look at chat real quick. I got to say hello to my favorite person, Katie. How are you? Good to see you tonight, Miss Katie. Earl Tyson is our winner for first in chat. Mr. Tyson not messing around tonight. He's ready for NBA. No playing games. Stacks Money 77, of course, Mr. Luka. Hats off to the 40-point triple-double man, and needed every bit of it for the Mavs to win, for crying out loud. Rodney Pollard Coach Talk fave, no doubt about it. The Prince is the boss. Nathan Feudy, how are you, my friend? Justin Jennings, great to see you. King Moses, time to open up the Red Sea and bring in all of the money, sir. That's the plan. Aloysius 5, he is a serious NBA man himself. Justin Timberlake, Mr. JT, how are you, my friend? My bankroll is shot. No. Keep that bankroll. We just talked bankroll management because tonight's a good night, man. Let's go get it. It's bounce back, revenge. I think, what did I call it? Not Sweet Success Sunday. I don't know. Whatever it is, we're after tonight. RJ, how are you, my friend? Great to have you in here with us. Good group considering NFL's going on right now. And we're gonna get after these 6 games right now. So any questions, post them in there. If you are on YouTube, quick thumbs up. We really appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button, a little alert in the upper corner. That lets you know when any of our podcasts post. If you have not heard, as you can see on the bottom, we are splitting between podcasts in front of the paywall and behind the paywall. We really want to encourage people to become a part of what we're doing here at Coach Talk. It is time for us to grow and share the love and get after it. And as you all know, we don't mess around here at Coach Talk. Our Discord is super positive. Everybody's supportive, upbeat. It's the best community, I'm serious, in the industry. We just don't put up with anything. I'd rather have a few less members and all good vibes and good feel than anything else. That's really the most important thing to me. And we will continue to do that. So give us a try. You can join for as little as $9 stinking bucks for a full week, and you get everything we've got. All of our NBA action, all of our podcasts, because the Behind the Wall podcast for basketball and football, some of them you'll have to be a member to get. And then all of our MMA, NASCAR, we've got obviously football, basketball, golf. So we've got all kinds of stuff going on for you. So we'd love to have you join us. If you're watching on Twitter right now, please like and retweet to share that love as well. Forgot to mention also, if you do any super chats, everything goes into the bucket, into charity. We donate that. I think it's no child hungry. Remind me, I'm so terrible at that stuff. But we have a great charity that we're doing for the whole month of November, which we're almost halfway through somehow, which doesn't seem to make sense. So please throw that in there if you can. Juga Kushti, great to have you with us again. Love seeing people come back in here and get with us. We do not offer soccer at this time, but that's something we're going to look to do in the future. We really only highlight the sports, and we've got a decent group of them that we feel that we're experts on, that we can supply the absolute best. How some of these places give you DFS checkers and roller skating or whatever the heck they do, I don't know how anybody can advise in those unless you're a professional checker or roller skater. So anyway, we focus on those. Soccer's just not one that we have recruited a pro to do, but we will keep that in mind, Juga Kushti. We want to have all you guys in here with us. All right, NBA slate, baby, great vibes. We needed that king of all trades. I was waiting. I was hoping that you weren't. That wasn't going to happen, where we wouldn't have those good vibes coming in. Let's see. King of Smack. Oh, he's up 4 bills. 400 schlamalies. I love it, my friend. More money. Mo money. That's what we're going to try to do. Mama needs a new pair of shoes and a new car, apparently, and a vacation. So KOS has a lot on his plate. We're going to try to get you some big NBA cash tonight for sure. All right. We're diving in, my friends. I think that is all the business we needed to do. And like I said, we can't play around today, and we're going to look at ownership as we go. 6 games starting at 6 p.m. So don't get fooled. Don't wait, and then all of a sudden you're stuck with some players thinking it's a 7 p.m. Eastern lock because it's a 6, which is an hour and 4 minutes from right now. So we're after this. Game number 1, 6 p.m. Minnesota Timberwolves 5-8 at the Cleveland Cavaliers 8-4. In this game, we have Minnesota and Cleveland game is a 223 total. Cleveland is favored at home by 5. 109 implied for Minnesota, 114 for your Cleveland Cavaliers. In this game, Naz Reid is out for Minnesota. We need news, and we'll get news. In fact, I hope it breaks when we're on this podcast, because we have 2 massively important pieces of information we need from Cleveland. Please post them in here, because I'm trying to look at 10 things and I may miss news when it comes across. If, as far as I'm concerned, I like Underdog for the quickest news. Big tip of the hat to the folks at Underdog. But the news in this game that we need is Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen. And those are 2 extremely important pieces, because a lot of things we'll talk about here as we get into this game. But Mitchell and Allen, questionable. Dean Wade, also questionable. We know Rubio and Windler are still out. In this game, it's an island game for both teams, not a back-to-back. Second in pace in the league, Minnesota. So major pace up for Cleveland. Cleveland, not bad, though. 16th, playing faster than they have in the past, but still maintaining a really good defensive efficiency rating. In fact, they're 3rd in the league. So tough D matchup for Minnesota that struggled at 5-8. Minnesota, not bad defensively, 13th. So, the spread here with that 223 total, not a bad total, somewhat middle of the road. We have 2 games in the 230s. We also have 3 games in the teens, 2 teens. So this 223 right square in the middle. Obviously, the massive news here is going to be Mitchell and Allen. If Mitchell and Allen are out, I will have Garland and Mobley everywhere. So bing, just like that. If they're both in without restrictions, probably not going to go to any of those guys. So that's how important that is. Let's see. Garland, LeVert, Stevens, Love, and Mobley are starting. So those guys are out. Andrew Lewis, thank you, my friend. I don't know if I've seen you in here, Andrew. If you're brand new, love to have you. Stay with us. Come on, join us every day. We would love to have you in there. Okay, very simple. For me, you're going to get a lot of people and shifting in these ownership now. A lot of people going to Love, etc., LeVert. I'm going Garland, Mobley, lock both in, bang. Garland, Mobley, big games. I'm really fired up for those 2 guys. So fired up for that. Let's see. Coach, Earl Tyson's back. Mr. Tyson, we missed you at the beginning. The Gale, I think you're brand new, my friend. Let's go. Lineup is out for Cleveland. Yes, the Gale, great to have you with us. If you're new, come and join us every day, man. We would love to have you in the family. We know Jaws out and Bain is out. So we're going to have a lot of shakeup and ownership shifting in that game as well. So right out of the gate, we've got big news dropping, and it makes a huge effect on this game. On the Minnesota side, how do we look at this? Well, you're going to have a pretty even game with 2 key guys for Cleveland out. It's 2 starters. And so a little bit tighter game. You could go to a few different spots here. Even with Allen out, though, I still respect the interior defense of Cleveland, and it is a pace down for them. So I'm not going to be diving on the Minnesota side as much, but to counteract a lot of ownership here for me for Garland and Mobley, I would like to fire up one person on the other side of the ball on the Minnesota side. And for me, it's probably going to be Edwards. Now, I will say this. Anthony Edwards can really screw you over. He can break slates and everything in between. So there is some real concern there. But he would be the guy that I would choose to go to. Deb made a great point the other day. She talked me off of D'Angelo Russell, and it was right. He's playing like dog, you know what? And he's not getting all the minutes at point. They've actually been playing slow-mo off the bench as the point guard and Jalen Noel. So not going to touch him at all. Edwards is a little pricey, but I think he's to match up on the other side in a game that I think is very, very playable. I think Edwards is your best go-to there. Again, don't trust Gobert, period, regarding his output in any specific game. And Cat is super expensive. And I think Mobley's one of your best interior defenders, bang for your buck in sides. And he's going to get a lot of the assignment on Cat, even with Allen out. So, very interesting game, very good game to start out the slate. And let's look at the ownership here. I'm going to update it at this second. Hopefully, some of this new news came in. Okay, so we're going to look at this first game and see. Darius Garland now $7,200, fifth highest owned. I just don't see how there's any way humanly possible you can fade Darius Garland. I don't care how chalky he is. Right now, they're saying 22.4% projected. I think it's going to go up, but I don't care. I don't care if it goes to 50%. I'm plugging in Garland in this game with no Mitchell, up a pace game with Minnesota's second fastest. Just plug them in. Let's get them. After that, we've got Kevin Love. Like I said, I know he's going to grab a bunch of ownership, and I get it. I really do. $5,000. It's so hard to let that go. I would rather spend a few extra bucks. I don't go 3 deep in stacks unless it's a small slate. I consider 6 games a medium slate. And so I'm not going to go 3 deep. But if you want to play Love instead of Garland or instead of who am I saying? I'm drawing a blank in my brain. Mobley. You can do that. I think you can mix and match those 3. Obviously, you're going to save $1,000 if you go from Mobley down to Love, but $7,200 Garland and $6,000 Mobley, that's giveaway money to me. That's where I'm going. But I get it. Other than that, you've got, let's see, Mobley right now at 14.5%. Again, these are going to change in the next few minutes as things continue to get updated. But to me, a no-brainer play. You got to go there. Ant grabbing about 12.5%. These are Draftkings numbers that we're looking at right now. We'll update and take a glance at them at the very end as well. And then Rudy Gobert at about 10%. So a very important game right out of the gate for me. Very, very excited about that for sure. Cleveland has the highest pace on the slate at 5.9. Let's see. Mello. Is that the Mello? How are you, Mello? Great to see you, man. Miss you. Miss your playing efforts out there. AD, should he smash tonight? Very possibly. But you always have that AD scarcity. Is he going to get dinged? Is he going to play full minutes? Are they going to stay in the game at 2-10? How about this new strategy I thought of today? They just tank the rest of the way. They sit LeBron, let him get another couple years after this, and try to get Wembanyama. Can you imagine Anthony Davis, Wembanyama, and LeBron, and then the year after they get Bronny? They're good. They'd win a championship. Wembanyama is as good as anybody that's come into the league since LeBron. Mark my words. Okay. I said I wasn't going to do this, and I'm still doing it. C. Bennett, how are you, man? Great to see you in here with us. Have not seen you in here for a while. So great to see you with us. All right. So that's my theory in that game. Important game. Really high up on my list for importance now that we know the scenario of who's sitting. Let's get after this one. Game 2, the Memphis Grizzlies and the Washington Wizards. You've got the Grizzlies 9-4. Washington above 500. How about that? 7-6. Hats off to them with all the injuries that they've dealt with as well. Washington's favored by 1.5, which is very surprising, but that's because Memphis has a bunch of guys out. It is only a 218 total. That's the concern. 108.25 implied for the Grizz, 109.75 for the Wizards. Washington is on the second night of a back-to-back, so that makes a difference, and that's why you're having these guys sit. So it's going to open it up for some value here. Tons of value on both sides. Excuse me. Tons of value on both sides here, and some that we want to take advantage of. But there are a few things we got to look at. We've got pace 11th for Memphis, which isn't bad. Only 27th for Washington. Their theory has been slow it down a little bit more than they've done in the past, and it's working for them because they're winning some games. Defensively, though, Memphis, we say it every day, they have not played the Grizzlies' grindhouse defense that we're used to. They're 22nd. Washington is down to 20th. So that is a plus for considering some guys here, is that defensive efficiency is not great. Let's see. In this game, so here's the news. Desmond Bane, John Morant, Jaren Jackson out. Green and Williams also out. So those guys are not playing, which brings every ton of guys into play. For Washington, no Beal, no Taj Gibson, no DeLon Wright. The Washington lineup is confirmed. Morris, Kispert, Avdija, Kuzma, and Porzingis. We're expecting on the Memphis side, Tyus Jones, Conchar, Brooks, Aldama, and Adams. But that is not official just yet. As far as ownership here, let's talk about that a little bit. I'm going to keep refreshing because so much is going to continue to change as we move towards lock here, which we are 53 minutes away from. All right, in this Memphis-Washington game, we're going to have some definite ownership. Do I love this first guy? Yes, he's going to be in all my lineups. Take the free square, people. Tyus Jones, $3,600. You heard me. Free square. 74%. That's a gut punch, but it is what it is. You just take it. Chalk blocker. We've talked about that before. Even if he underperforms, everybody else is going to have him. You just deal with it and move on. Cash and single entry, you have to play him. It's like automatic. It should just fill the spot for you. If you want to fade him on a GPP, try to hit that one special bullet, then you can go for it. But I'm going to have Tyus Jones in every lineup. Dylan Brooks, fourth highest at 40%, $5,500. Super hard not to go to him. You lose like 90 million percent of, Jackson hasn't played, but and he's in there. He's pretty good usage, but Ja and Desmond Bane are, most of the usage. So Dylan Brooks, who loves to chuck and duck it, this has got to be a dream come true for him. I don't know how many times he's going to shoot, but he's going to be hard to pass. I mean, he really is. $5,500 against a Washington team that doesn't defend that well. Sign me up for all the Dylan Brooks. Now, can he really suck at times? Yes. But you know what? He has no conscience. He'll miss his first 6 shots, and that'll just motivate him to shoot 6 more. So Dylan Brooks and Tyus Jones, welcome to the Chalk City. Boy from Cali, I don't know if he's in here. I know he'd be rubbing my face in the chalk and etc., but it's okay. I am going Tyus Jones and Dylan Brooks. Now, the third guy on this list, 5th highest overall, is going to grab a bunch of ownership as well, but I'm not going to go there. So you can't say that I go after every piece of chalk. Now, this is the same spot Marcus Smart was in, 5th overall yesterday, and we know the nightmare that was. If you didn't see my post in Discord, it was when the Chinese guys are doing karate and they keep kicking them right in the you-know-what. That's how I felt with the Marcus Smart thing. Hopefully it doesn't happen to me tonight with John Conchar. I'm not going to play him. A lot of people are. He's 34% projected, and that might go up. $3,400 is cheap, but to me, Tyus Jones, 5 times better play, $200 more. And even though it's $2,100 more bucks for Brooks, way bigger ceiling than Conchar. I don't think Conchar is a bad play. I think I may have said the same thing yesterday about Smart, even though I was fading him. I'm definitely going to fade him here. You've got to pick spots. You can't take all the chalk and go after everybody like that. So we just call them like we see them here. We take a stand. We have some courage, and that's how you get after it and get some winners. All right. Let's see here. Back to the ownership piece on this game. Next, we have a big, massive drop down to Denny Avdia, which he can play decent at times. 4,000, 14% ownership. Not a bad play. I mean, Washington's going to have to get offense from somewhere. It looks possibly like, well, we said Morris, Kispert, Avdia, Kuzma, and Porzingis. I don't trust Avdia completely enough really to plug him in here. Do I think he's a reasonable play? Possibly. He is cheap. I prefer him over Kispert at 3-3. Monte Morris just isn't good. I've tried to force him into a few lineups. He's not that good. He really isn't that good. If I was going to go anywhere here, I'd go to one of two guys. The wonderful Kyle Kuzma, who did a terrific job for us in the last game. He's 7-8. That was last night, by the way. And then Kristaps Porzingis at 8-2. A little pricey. Probably not going to go there because of cost and a few other spots I like better at that position. And he's only center eligible on DraftKings. So Kuzma would be the play on that side. Avdia is a long shot GPP play. And then a couple of those Grizz. So I will have some exposure in this game just because there's just too good of value, and you just eat the chalk and move on. We're going to try to differentiate in a few different spots. All right, let's see. Bayou Bix09, I think you're brand new. Do I like Steph for 30.5? Real points by you, Bix? Is that what you're talking about? We're going to get to that game. If you're new and I've not seen you in here before, welcome to the Coach Chalk family. We hope you join us every day. We go over every game, and we'll talk in depth about that game with Steph as well. And I'll give you my opinion there on that 30.5. If you, yes, okay, so points, total points. And we'll talk about that. And we also go over pay up, fades, and value plays as we're going through. So excellent. All right. Now, do I like McDaniels? Oh, that's Crash you're thinking of there, KOS. He plays McDaniels every day. I think he's his agent. But I will talk about him as well, as we know. I'm about to subscribe to really appreciate. Oh, fantastic, man. We really do appreciate it. Thumbs up, subscribe, hit that alert button so you know on all of our podcast posts. And if you want to get all of our podcasts, become a member. I did pin in here where you can sign up $9 for a week. Check us out. We'd love to have you. And we do appreciate any new folks that jump in. We want to grow the family and have some fun while we're doing it. All right. So back to business of this game. We talked about the ownership. Yep. And really, other than that, ownership-wise in this game, last guy listed is Kristaps at 9%. Again, could he have a good game here? No doubt. 8,200 is not a giveaway, though. And you got to think about, who you want to fill that spot, specifically on DraftKings where he doesn't have that power forward eligibility anymore. All right, game 3, 7:30. So an hour and a half break from the first two games to game 3. It is the Utah Jazz, the best record in the NBA. Nobody on earth would have bet on November 13th that the Utah Jazz would have the best record in the league. If you did, you are the greatest NBA prognosticator in history. But they're going at it at Philadelphia. Philadelphia is favored only by 3.5, even with Mr. Embiid playing. 218.5 is the total, so fairly low. 107.5 implied for Utah. 111 implied for the Sixers. As far as injuries in this game, none for Utah. That's part of the reason they're 10-4, which is the best record. Philly still a game under 500. D'Anthony Melton, questionable. I tried telling everybody not to play him yesterday. A few people got stuck with him after lock, and that was not cool. We don't know if he's going to go today. I'm not going to risk it. I don't like him anyway. Harden and Korkmaz still remain out for the Sixers. A couple of things here of concern. Second night of a back-to-back for both teams. That doesn't help matters. Joel Embiid said he will play on the second night of a back-to-back, but Doc's not going to push him over the top, and he's expensive. So you got to consider that for sure. Pace is bad. Utah's only 17th. Philadelphia, the second slowest team, just to my Mavs. They're only slower team in the entire league. So that comes into play. Defenses, Utah's remained in the top 10. They're 9th. Philadelphia's crawled up into the middle of the pack and is getting better at 16th. So not a game that I am recommending very strongly. I think that is a dangerous game for a total score here, rotation. I think there's a lot of things that can go wrong. I will say, though, with the spread at only 3.5 and maybe only 3 in some spots, that, if it stays competitive, they get those extra shifts. That definitely does help. Let's look at ownership of this game, and I'm going to refresh again because, like I said, we're going to continue to get new and more information. That's why I'm only reviewing Draftkings ownership right now, but we'll touch on the other two as well as we go here. All right, in this Utah-Philadelphia game, I'm not the only one that believes this is a game that's not one to focus on. And the top guy ownership in this game is about 17th overall, and that is Embiid at 11-1, about 16% ownership. So, reasonable ownership there. Not a bad leverage play. You don't normally get Embiid, below 16%. And then he's sitting just below it right now. Other than that, in this game, man, it's just unbelievable. There's nobody else in the top 30 owned people projected at this point. Unreal. The next highest guy is Tyrese Maxey at 7.5%. $7,900 though makes you a little nervous. I just got to keep looking here because it seems as though that's unreal. Yeah. Next guy, 7%, Jordan Clarkson, and then 5.5%, Lauri Markkanen. Maybe that's the play. $7,500 is not bad from a leverage standpoint. That is super low ownership. Tobias Harris only at 4. Jared Vanderbilt at 3. So, you've got no ownership in this game. So if you're looking for a leverage play and you think this game has potential, that might be the way to go. Markkanen's had some really good games, but again, pace, second night of back-to-backs, defense, just not a lot to feel really comfortable about. But if you're looking to get different and you're looking to be a little contrarian, this might be the game that helps you get to that spot. All right, we're going to continue on. We're not playing games today. I told you we got to get through this and get ready and get those lineups set. So game 4 of 6, 8 o'clock, Denver Nuggets at the Chicago Bulls. Denver, a 2-point road favorite. You have the second highest total on the board here at 232.5 and 117.25 implied for the Nuggets, 115.25 for the Chicago Bulls. As far as injuries in this game, who's out, who's in, who's out? We've got Denver, Gillespie, Highland, and Smith. That's Ish Smith out. Lonzo Ball, Kobe White remain out for the Bulls. Denver comes in 8-4. Bulls also under 500 at 6-7. As far as statistically in this game, we have two teams that are fresh, though. No back-to-backs here for these teams. Two very well-paced clubs, 7th and 8th. So Denver 7th, Chicago 8th, both teams playing faster than they did last year. Defensively, Denver, even though they're 8-4, struggling on defense at 25th. Chicago below 500, the 6th most defensive efficient team in the league. So one of those weird anomalies of statistically based number here. So does that affect things? It does a little bit for me. I think it doesn't inflate Denver as much as you would think. And I think it gives the Bulls a better chance to be in this game and keep this one really close. I think this game could go either way. No question about it. I do like Lauri Markkanen. I don't know if he goes off tonight, but I do think that he is somebody at that low of ownership is somebody you got to look at. All right. Let's look at some ownership here. As far as it goes right now, Zach LaVine at 7,100. His price is way down. He's grabbing about 19% projected ownership, followed right by the guy that I like. I love the trend he's on, and that's Jamal Murray. 6,300 is cheap. He's getting more and more minutes. He's now well over 30, and he looks a lot better, a lot smoother out there. Think he's a great play tonight, and he's at 18.8% projected ownership. And that makes me very interested at that price. I think it's a value price, and he's going to make a lot of my lineups. Is the Joker the pay up to go today? He's 11-3. We saw, what he could do the last game as well. Just has had some phenomenal games, and you always got to be dangerous of him, fear of him blowing up a slate. And he's only 15.6% projected right now at that 11-3 number, where we have tons of value that opened up. So you absolutely could get to the Joker. He is in consideration for me. I have not made my final decision, and I haven't played the Joker in quite some time. This is a good matchup. We know that Vuk does not defend well in the paint, and the Joker in a pretty good paced game here, in an island game, I think is a really nice play, and seriously considering him as my pay up option today. Other than that, any other own guys? Bruce Brown grabbing double digits at 10.5%, only 4,800. He's had a few really nice games in the mix recently. Aaron Gordon, who's looked good this season, only 9%. Volatile, but he's only 5,800. Then you have Michael Porter Jr., who hasn't quite caught stride just yet, but we know his ceiling capabilities at 5,800 and only 8%. So there's not only value on this slate, there's a lot of low owned guys that you can get, even though they're good prices. Vuk's at 8% at only 7,600, which is very fair for him. No question about it. That is a fair price. DeMar DeRozan only 5%. He's a big 8,400. And he has a tendency to go ballistic or not get to 5x. So a bunch of risk always incurred with him. Wouldn't mind him in like a GPP shot where you're looking for one of his, 65, 70 burgers at 5% ownership. But he's not cheap. So that's something that you got to consider as well. All right. I'm new. What do you mean when you say ownership? Sorry for asking. No problem. Every question's a great question. We spend a lot of time, money, and effort on getting projected ownership for DFS slates. And we share that here on Discord, on the podcast, and then we post it in Discord for members. What projected ownership tells you, and it's extremely imperative. If you play DFS on a consistent basis, especially if you play any GPP games, you absolutely have to look at ownership because it's going to tell you the leverage plays. You're going to know if somebody's low owned, high owned, how to build your lineups based on that, which is very key. If you become a member at Coach Talk, with that, you get a one-on-one session with me, or you can grab one of our other pros, and I'll go through that with you. I'll talk about how to build lineups, what we do. We've won consistently for 8 years, and we're very proud of that, and we want to share that. It's called Coach Talk. I'm a coach from way back. I love to teach and coach what has made me successful in DFS, and one of those pieces, as you can have a one-on-one with me as a member, is we'll talk about not only ownership and how to build those lineups, but how to bankroll manage and how to do contest selection. Contest selection is number one on my entire list before you pick a player. If you're not playing the right contest and building the lineup the correct way and using that ownership guidelines are very important. Okay. Embiid or the Joker on FanDuel, I would lead towards the Joker if I had to choose between those two. Best pay. Oh, Tyson. Mr. Tyson doesn't want to know about FanDuel. I'll go over pay up value and fade on FanDuel, my friend. I promise you that I will. All right. Let's see here. We went over that. As far as the other guys in this game that we can talk about a little bit, if you're playing a GPP, you're starting to get some good consistent minutes from more consistent from Patrick Williams at 4-4. The Dragon, too, Goran Dragic at 3-9, starting to get a little extra push in the mid-20s. Guys, you can think about if you're really wanting to go stars and scrubs. If you're going to try, I mean, you can, with all of the value, have both Embiid and the Joker if you want. I mean, it's possible. It's just you're going to have to go two guys like a Dragic or somebody like that and take a flyer. Again, I don't believe it's a full stars and scrubs. I want to pay up a bit, but I think that with the value, you can still get some really good medium price guys, and we'll talk about those as well. Zach LaVine at 7-1 is always a dangerous number, but he's going to grab KCP defense, and I definitely fear KCP defense, so probably not going to go there. I think DeRozan's too expensive. Vuk, 7-6 is fair, but not really super high on the Bulls side. I prefer the Denver side here. The Joker and Murray. I like both of those guys a lot. They're in my first lineup projected right now. Haven't made the final decision, but that's the direction I would go for sure. And, maybe a last man in for a Patrick Williams here at 4-4. And really that's where I'm going to go. So I will have a good, 2-3 guys from this game. And I think it's a nice game, but not a total target game like maybe this next one is. But you got to remember these games, these two teams are on an island, and that makes a big difference when they don't have back-to-back games. I think you get a much better run with those guys for sure. We'll get you a GPP guide too, Mr. Tyson. I promise you that. I'm playing Clayton at center. Okay, I mean that's a play. That you can do that. I think that makes sense. I like the price too. All right, we go on to game 5. I told you we're not playing games today. I'm going at breakneck speed for me. All right, let's talk about this next game. Golden State Warriors, Sacramento Kings, biggest total on the board, a big fat 237. So 4.5 points higher than the last game, way higher than, 20 stinking points higher than the Grizzlies Wizards, almost 20 points higher than the Jazz game, and almost 20 points higher than the Brooklyn Lakers game projected. So how do you not circle that game? I mean, you can't ignore it. I mean, we've talked about it on a lot of podcasts. Every single point over that projected total, not that that's, solid in stone, but Vegas knows their stuff and they're generally around the number. And you've got to respect that 237 number here. And you can't fade this game. Now, you don't have to stack it. I mean, some people will. And I've seen that be successful. I've seen it fail. I'm not a big more than 2 guys on each team stack in basketball because I think you're really stealing points from yourself at that point. Can you go 2v2 here and 4 your guys from this game? No doubt about it. But I'm going to have exposure here, but not a full stack all the way around for me. I really am going to concentrate, I think, more on that Minnesota-Cleveland game to start off the slate. And then this game is a very close second. And again, you can't always just go with what the numbers say. Yes, 16-point bigger total than this game, than that first game, Minnesota-Cleveland. And that's why you got to respect it. But I don't think you have to completely sell out to it. So we have Golden State favored by 4. How about these totals? We've always said when both teams have an implied total over 115, you have got to get really serious about that game. 120.5 implied for Golden State, 116.5 for Sacramento with that big fat 237 total, and a close spread with only 4-point favoritism for Golden State on the road. So, yeah, Kevin Love is starting, king of all trades, no doubt about it. And his 17% ownership is going to keep climbing. And you have to make a decision. In my opinion, Garland, Love, and why do I keep forgetting his name? And I love the guy. He's one of my chalk plays today, Evan Mobley. Mind blank for the coach here. So anyway, yes, where are we going to go in this game? Well, you got some good things to look at. Golden State playing at the fastest pace in the association, and Sacramento 9th. So 2 top 10 teams, just like Denver, Chicago 7th and 8th. So you have 2 sets of games with 2 top teams. But when you have one, number 1 in the league, that gets your attention. Defense stinks. Golden State, a hugely disappointing 24th. Sacramento, sort of an expected 27th, but certainly not where they wanted to be defensively. Golden State's on the first night of a back-to-back, and that is always a concern. However, it looks as though what we're going to get tonight is all the Golden State dudes playing, and then tomorrow all the Golden State guys sitting. I would assume that's the direction they're going to go, but maybe not, because they're 5-7. You start digging a hole like that, even though Utah's a fluke, they're 10-4. Golden State's 5-7. That's a big hill to climb. And so, I think you're going to get everything Golden State has tonight, which makes them more playable. And then tomorrow is when we'll have to look at what's going to happen from there. But Sacramento doesn't play tomorrow, so they're going to have, they're going to be full tilt here, no question about it. Let's look at the ownership in this game, and I'm going to refresh again just to make sure we have the latest. In this game, as far as projected ownership, we're looking at Curry at 10-2, 25% ownership. So, again, you could go 2 pay-ups with all the value. Maybe you choose between the Joker or Embiid and add Curry to that list if you want to go that route. He is getting the most respect there. Sabonis, 8,600, getting 19%, which is a pretty healthy total for him. He's been consistent, but not spectacular. Draymond Green, 15%, only at 5,600. Always a huge risk there. He could have 0 points, or he could have a triple-double. So, it's the Draymond Green saga, or he gets thrown out with 2 technicals. Who knows? But always implied risk, but that's why he's only 5,600. Klay Thompson, good Lord, this guy, I don't know what we're thinking with Klay anymore. Do you trust him? Do you not trust him? He had one good game after Barkley, called him out, and don't know though, 13.7% projected ownership. Yes, he's only 5,600. Yes, this is bad defense and good pace. I guess if you're going to play Klay somewhere, this is where you're going to play him. But I can't go there. I don't feel confident enough in that Splash Brother to put him up there at this moment. And I hope he gets better. I hope he plays better, but it's a concern. De'Aaron Fox, I'm still, feeling the gut burn of when he let me down profusely the other night. 8,500 smackers for Fox. That's a big, fat number. I just think it's too high. I think he's good. I think the pace is great. I mean, you can't get a better pace up than going with the number 1 team against you. He's a terrific player. But at $8,500 and double-digit ownership at 13%, that's a fade for me. In fact, he's my fade of the day. And, I don't fade junk. I fade good players and make choices that are difficult. He's going to get ownership because of that. People are going to want to play Curry and Fox, I think, the two against each other. I think he's too expensive, and he has not played consistently enough, in my opinion, to be a strong play here. Andrew Wiggins is 6,900, 8.5%. So you get some good leverage there, single digits for him. And then after that, it really plummets down. So even though this game has such a big total, and you would think this would dominate some of the ownership, it is very low owned. So that's the decision you have to make. For those playing GPP lineups and looking for leverage, looking for an edge there, this is a dangerous game and needs to be considered. I don't love the game, though. I like the game. I'm certainly considering Curry. I think Wiggins is very fairly priced. After that, on the Sacramento side, I think you can go to the cheaper guys. Kevin Huerter has had some really good games, some really bad games, but at 5'4", when you can save $3,100 from Fox, and yeah, Fox is more than likely going to have more fantasy points, but is it going to be enough to overcome $3,100? I would prefer to go there at that cost savings. Harrison Barnes has been playing better. He's at 5K, so it's at least a consideration. Do you finally trust Keegan Murray at 4,500? His price has gone down, down, down pretty much every game, but he's been very inconsistent all over the place. Sabonis is a good play tonight. There's no doubt. He's 8,600 though, so it is a big commitment. And if you're going to go big elsewhere with the Joker, Embiid, whatever, it makes it very difficult to roster Sabonis, and that's why his ownership is staying fairly low. Don't trust anybody off the bench on either side. So again, for me, it's like one off on each side, even though this game screams for ownership and it's strong leverage plays as well. But I think there's risk. You're incurring risk. Great GPP to roster multiple guys in this game for cash or single entry, which is my gig. I'm going to be a little bit more selective with this particular game. All right, real quick check. Boy from Cali, what's up, my friend? How are you doing? I cannot believe I forgot to get in our NFL football contest that we have. I swear I clicked the button. I was in there. In fact, I was one of the first ones in, but I must have screwed something up because I wasn't in there. Anyway, my football lineup's doing pretty good, boy from Cali, and I just got too tied up with everything else going on today. But it is what it is. And we do have an NFL internal contest that we do. Crash posts it every week. It's a lot of fun, a lot of bragging. Lanny thinks he can beat me and he can't, but that's a whole nother story. And you can jump in there. That we do a lot of fun stuff. By the way, I forgot, doggone it. We are going to do, and you know what? I can't do it today because we're so rushed. We have a lock in 22 minutes, but we're going to give away a hoodie this week. And they are the sweetest hoodies, man. They are so nice. You see them if you watch the pods. I've got different ones I'm wearing. Deb had one on the other night when we were on here. We're going to give away a hoodie to some member. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow for sure. We'll have a contest. We'll get something going. So keep an eye out for that too. All right, let's get to the last game. Game number 6. It is at 9:30. So you got the late night sweat game here, half an hour later than any other game. The 6 and 7 Nets against the 2 and 10 Lakers. Who would believe that one either? But it's the case. That is the last game on the slate only has a 218 total. Brooklyn's a road favored by 4.5. You have a 111.25 for Brooklyn implied. 106.75 is all for the Lakers. In this game, Brooklyn's 26th in pace. So not only is it the Lakers playing bad and a low total, major pace down game for them. Lakers are playing the third fastest in the league. As far as defensively, Brooklyn is really turning it around as they're starting to win some games. They are up to 8th in defensive team efficiency. Lakers have plummeted. They were hanging on by their teeth in the top 10 for a few minutes, and now they're 21st, and they're going down with a bullet. So certainly, makes Brooklyn a team that you want to focus on. And is Kevin Durant the best play on the slate, or is it Anthony Davis? Or do we fade these guys from earlier on, Embiid and the Joker, and put all our eggs in the Durant-Davis basket for the late game? The spread is low, but the total's low. So a 218 total, that is quite a bit of a fall off from like this last game, 237. So I'll tell you though, this is not like yesterday. If yesterday I was loving the high total games and not liking the low total games, this tonight, as we said, every slate is different. I prefer some of these games that are a little bit more, lower totals. I don't think it's an absolute slam dunk, no brainer to go with just the high price games. We have 20 minutes till lock, by the way. So we're still in great shape. For members in Discord, as soon as we finish this, I will be posting lineups about 5 to 7 minutes later for members. If you're not a member, become one. We give away a core, which I'm going to build on this podcast on Draftkings, a starting 5. We give full lineups for Fanduel and Yahoo. And you'll get those from me and from Crash this afternoon. All right. So, second night of a back-to-back for Brooklyn. That doesn't help matters on their case, although we know Kevin Durant is not a human being. He's a robot from outer space. So it really doesn't matter if he plays 8 games in a row, even though he's in his mid-late 30s, 36, I think, something. I don't know. But 11K, we got to talk about this a little bit. Anthony Davis, sub 10K at 9.8 is also going to grab some ownership. But what does ownership look like right now, people? Let's refresh and look. Right now, from this game, where are we at? Okay. Right now, we are looking like the number one person is Anthony Davis at 18.5%. Kevin Durant, only 16%. Why are those guys below 20%? I'm not sure. What is the strategy in this game? Guess what, people? I'm going to give this to you right now. Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant are going to make my lineup. And I'm not playing Embiid. And I think I'm not going to go with the Joker. That's where I'm leaning. Joker is still on the fence till the last minute, but Davis and Durant are where I want to go. I think this game stays close enough. I think that those two are great plays, and they're under-owned. And with all of the value that opened up, if you want to go full stars and scrubs, you can grab 3 of those guys I mentioned. But if not, you got plenty of cheap guys. Jones, Love, Brooks, Conchar. You got all kinds of choices of cheap guys that are now going to play big roles. So you can go there. Other guys that are owned in this game, those are the top 2 from this game, which they should be. I think they should both be 25% owned plus, in my opinion. We've said it all along, when Davis or LeBron outplay the other guy, when the matchup is cohesive to making sense, and it makes sense here to me. And I love the leverage play. And I love, again, don't panic if we're in the middle of the pack going into that late game, but we're going to blow by a ton of people. Royce O'Neal, 14% at 5,300. Russell Westbrook, Brooke, 7,700, 12%, certainly a consideration. Nicholas Claxton, 11%, 6,100, a nice play as well. We know that the Lakers have been getting sliced in the center position. Jumping Joe Harris at 11%, also in double digits. Everybody else, single digits from this game. All right. Is it a bad idea to play none of the studs? No. You don't have to. You can go. I don't think, though, personally, there's so much value here. I don't think it's smart to just go with a medium build. I generally go with a medium build when a lot of value doesn't open up, and I'm not crazy about the studs on the slate. I am a big medium build believer, because I think a lot of people try to take a couple of studs and then figure it out from there. But in this situation where you have all those guys out because of all the back-to-backs, I think you got to go with a couple studs here. And you don't have to go stars and scrubs. I'm going to go a couple of studs, Durant, AD, maybe a third guy that's close to up there, some medium build guys, and then a couple of the obvious, they're chalky, but they're value. The Tyus Joneses of the world, etc. And again, to answer your question, Jagakushti, it changes every day. That's what I love about DFS in general. Every slate, every situation is completely different. You can use the opposite strategy one day to the next, and it's slate. It's what the slate is asking you to do, and you got to follow that and make those decisions. And sometimes those decisions are difficult, but you got to make them. All right, I'm going to build a 5-man starting 5 on DraftKings. and I'm going to put in Tyus Jones. I'm going to do this with you guys. He's $3,600. He's going to go in my starting five. Anthony Davis at 9,800 is going to be in that lineup for me at power forward. KD at 11 flat is going to be my small forward. And then I want to double check a couple of things here real quick. I'm going to go Dylan Brooks as my fourth guy, people. And he is decently priced as well. I think at 5,500 at shooting guard, it's very, very hard to pass him up. And then that leaves me with Evan Mobley. I'm going to play at center at 6K flat. So easy peasy. Tyus Jones, Dylan Brooks, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, Evan Mobley. My starting five on DraftKings. It leaves you three spots at $4,700 per, which is 14-1. And there's plenty of other value out there. You could even go one more stud and two value guys if you want, or finish it out more with a medium build. All right, my friends, we did it. 14 minutes to go. I'll be posting our lineups in Discord for our members in 5 minutes. Really appreciate everybody jumping in here. Great group tonight. A lot of that fish money swimming over from the NFL tonight. Jump on it. A lot of people don't realize it's a 6 o'clock lock. Jump on it. All big advantages. We'll take every ounce of edge we can, and we got a lot of it tonight. We're at an hour and a minute, so I'm a minute over where I wanted to be. Love it. Appreciate all the new people in here. FanDuel, let me just say two things on FanDuel, because I know Earl will get very sad if I don't touch on FanDuel, but it's a lot of the same stuff, Earl. But I will give you a couple bodies here that I want to tell you. Kevin Durant at 11.4 and Anthony Davis at 11. They are the two most expensive guys on FanDuel. So it's not as easy or fun to do it there as it is on DraftKings. So a little weird tonight. So may go with just one of those there. The other guys, I think that you can seriously consider here. Lauri Markkanen's 8K, which is a little bit difficult, maybe more conducive. Also on DraftKings, I'm going to give you Mobley, 6,600, phenomenal play. I'll also give you Kevin Huerter's only 5,800. Think a very stinky play at a cheap price. Dylan Brooks, 5,300, I think is one of the better values on the slate there. And I'll give you one more. Tyus Jones, $4,500, plug and play. All right. Love you guys. That's sort of a core for FanDuel that I just gave out, Justin. And normally would spend more time with it, but we just don't have time today with the early lock. So thank you, everybody. I hope this helped you a bunch. Let's get some winners. We'll get a giveaway, some stuff tomorrow for sure when we have time, and we'll work on giving away that hoodie too for a member tomorrow. DFSCoachTalk.com. Hit the thumbs up on the way out, and let's get after it big time tonight. And we'll certainly be back tomorrow. Hopefully Crash is feeling much better, and Crash and I will tackle the NBA slate for Monday night at our regular 4:45 time. So appreciate everybody. Good luck tonight, and we'll be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in NBA, DFS, and Boom Fantasy.